What if I told you that beneath the rolling waves of India's vast coastline, billions of dollars in lost treasure lie hidden, guarded not only by sharks, but by centuries of mystery and neglect? Imagine plunging into the blue depths off India's coast, where every current whispers tales of ancient maritime glory. For centuries, these waters were bustling highways for spice-laden ships, gold-laden galleons, and merchant vessels from distant lands, many of which never made it to shore. Every ripple could conceal a shipwreck, its story buried beneath layers of sand and coral. Some are fiercely guarded by the ocean's predators, while others are lost to the depths of bureaucracy and decades of policy failures. From Portuguese carracks to Mughal treasure ships, the Indian Ocean is a graveyard of fortunes, each wreck a silent witness to storms, piracy, and the relentless march of time. As we journey through centuries of sunken ships and forgotten riches, we'll uncover how gaps in policy and protection have shaped not just the fate of lost gold, but the very future of India's marine heritage. From missed opportunities to safeguard these underwater wonders, to the ongoing struggle between treasure hunters and preservationists, the story of India's sunken gold mines is as complex as the ocean itself. Off the radiant palm-fringed shores of Goa, where the Arabian Sea glimmers under the tropical sun, lie the silent remains of 16th century Portuguese ships, forgotten relics of an empire that once ruled the waves. These vessels, known as carracks and naus, were the lifeblood of the Estado de India, carrying not only spices and silks, but also chests of gold, silver and precious stones, cargoes so valuable they could change the fortunes of kingdoms overnight. Yet the monsoon winds and treacherous reefs of the Goan coast proved deadly. Many ships, battered by storms or lured onto rocks by navigational errors, met their end here, leaving behind a legacy of disaster and loss. Today, these wrecks draw adventurous divers and treasure hunters from around the world, each hoping to uncover a piece of history, perhaps a gold coin stamped with the cross of the Order of Christ, or fragments of Ming porcelain traded for Indian pepper. But the absence of robust maritime heritage laws has left these underwater time capsules vulnerable. Salvagers and looters, driven by profit, have stripped artifacts and damaged fragile sites, erasing clues to Goa's colonial past. The seabed here is a haunting graveyard, hundreds of wrecks scattered across the sands, each a testament to the ambitions and tragedies of the Portuguese age of discovery. For some, these sites are perilous obstacles. For others, they are portals to adventure and knowledge. With clear preservation policies and international cooperation, these shipwrecks could become protected museums beneath the waves, offering insights into centuries-old trade, technology and cross-cultural exchange. Until then, they remain suspended in time, waiting for a new chapter in their remarkable story. Beneath the shimmering, sunlit waters of Tamil Nadu's coast lies a silent witness to a forgotten era. Here, the remains of a Dutch East India Company ship, once a floating warehouse brimming with spices, textiles and gold, rest undisturbed, lost to a violent storm in the 18th century. The VOC, or Verenigde Oostindische Compagnie, was the world's first multinational corporation, dominating Asian trade routes and shaping the fortunes of empires. Their ships, like this one, carried treasures from the Coromandel coast to Batavia and Amsterdam, fueling Europe's appetite for Indian goods. Now, centuries later, coral reefs and vibrant marine life have claimed the shattered hull, transforming it into an accidental sanctuary. Nature, in its quiet persistence, has become the ship's only guardian. With no official policy or protection in place, the wreck remains untouched, not by design, but by neglect. This absence of regulation raises a paradox. Do policy gaps sometimes shield these relics from looting and exploitation? Or do they risk letting priceless artifacts slip away, lost to time and the elements? In the case of the VOC ship, the lack of oversight means its cargo, potentially gold coins, porcelain and rare trade goods, remains hidden, its stories locked beneath layers of sand and coral. For underwater archaeologists, this wreck is a living museum, a time capsule of colonial ambition and maritime tragedy. Yet its future hangs in the balance, caught between the tides of history and the uncertain currents of modern policy. Beneath the shimmering turquoise waters of Lakshadweep, the skeletal remains of a once proud 19th century British merchant ship rest in silence, its story largely forgotten by time and tide. In the 1800s, these merchant vessels were the lifeblood of British colonial trade. Braving the unpredictable monsoon winds and treacherous coral reefs that made Lakshadweep's waters infamous among sailors. Lacking accurate nautical charts and modern navigation tools, captains often relied on instinct and luck. One fateful night, a violent storm and a single navigational miscalculation sealed this ship's fate, sending it crashing onto the hidden reefs. With no international maritime regulations or salvage laws in place, the wreck quickly became both a deadly obstacle for local fishermen and an irresistible magnet for fortune seekers, each hoping to uncover lost colonial treasures. Had there been robust policies for shipwreck management and marine safety, this vessel's story might have ended differently, perhaps as a protected heritage site or a beacon for safe navigation. Instead, the ship's rusted hull and scattered cargo now serve as haunting reminders of missed opportunities, both for preservation and for learning from maritime disasters. Today, the wreck calls out for action, urging us to protect what remains, to document and conserve these underwater time capsules before they vanish forever. By studying these lost ships and the policies that failed them, we can chart a better course for the future, one where history is preserved and the lessons of the past guide us safely forward. Centuries before the rise of European colonial powers, the Arabian Sea was alive with the sails of Roman merchant ships, journeying thousands of miles from the Mediterranean to the lush Malabar coast of Kerala. These daring traders braved monsoon winds and unpredictable waters, drawn by the promise of India's legendary black pepper, so valuable it was called black gold. In exchange, they brought with them amphorae filled with wine, exquisite glassware, and gold coins stamped with the faces of emperors like Augustus and Nero. The seabed off Kerala is scattered with these treasures, silent witnesses to a thriving Indo-Roman trade network that flourished over 2,000 years ago. Archaeologists have uncovered amphorae, coins, and even remnants of Roman ships, evidence of shipwrecks that occurred during perilous voyages. Yet, despite their immense historical value, these underwater sites remain largely unprotected. India's preservation laws are patchy and rarely enforced offshore, leaving these relics vulnerable to looters, treasure hunters, and the relentless sea. Without urgent action and comprehensive legislation, we risk losing not just artifacts, but the very stories that connect India to the ancient world. The ocean remembers, even if our policies do not. During World War II, the tranquil waters around the Andaman Islands became a hidden battleground. Japanese cargo ships, vital for transporting troops and supplies across the Bay of Bengal, were relentlessly targeted by Allied air raids and submarine attacks. Today, one such vessel lies silently on the seafloor, its rusted hull a ghostly reminder of fierce naval warfare. The ship's twisted metal and scattered cargo tell a story of sudden violence and desperate escape, frozen in time beneath the waves. In recent years, government policies have tried to strike a delicate balance, protecting these underwater relics as historical monuments, safeguarding the fragile marine environment, and ensuring safe navigation for modern vessels. Yet the challenge is immense. Many wartime wrecks remain unprotected, their corroding fuel tanks slowly leaking oil and toxic chemicals into the sea. This pollution threatens vibrant coral reefs and marine life, while the wrecks themselves have become eerie attractions for adventurous divers, drawn by the haunting legacy of war. Occasionally, memorial ceremonies are held at these sites, honouring the sailors who perished and reminding us of the human cost of conflict. Touching the rusted steel, one can almost feel the echoes of history reverberate through the water. If we truly wish to honour this past, we must act decisively, preserving these underwater time capsules, educating future generations, and ensuring that the lessons of war and peace endure beneath the waves. Not all shipwrecks resting beneath India's waves are relics of ancient trade or colonial conquest. Some are startlingly recent, and their stories are still unfolding. Off the coast of Gujarat, a modern trawler lies abandoned, its hull battered and rusting in the shallow surf, a silent witness to the region's ongoing maritime struggles. Many of these vessels have fallen victim to the fierce cyclones that lash the Arabian Sea each year, their crews caught off guard by sudden storms or forced to risk dangerous waters in search of dwindling catches. But natural disasters are only part of the story. Illegal fishing, often by unregistered boats using banned gear, has surged in recent decades, overwhelming local enforcement and leaving a trail of wrecks along Gujarat's once thriving shores. Ironically, these sunken trawlers have begun a second life as artificial reefs. Over time, their corroded frames become havens for coral, sponges, and a dazzling array of marine life, transforming tragedy into unexpected opportunity. Today, dolphins glide past these wrecks, and ecotourism boats bring visitors eager to witness the rebirth of underwater habitats, an industry that could offer new hope to coastal communities. With the right policies, stricter enforcement, sustainable fishing, and managed reef programs, these sites could become models for marine conservation and economic renewal. But without action, these wrecks will simply rot away, their potential lost to corrosion and neglect. Or, with vision and commitment, we could turn them into living classrooms, places where students, scientists, and tourists alike learn from the sea's resilience and fragility. The choice is ours. Will we let these modern wrecks fade into obscurity or shape them into beacons of renewal for Gujarat's coast and beyond? The ocean is a storyteller, whispering of empires that once ruled these waters, of merchant ships laden with gold and spices, and of explorers whose ambitions were swallowed by the deep. Beneath the waves, India's coastline hides over 2,000 documented shipwrecks, each a silent witness to centuries of maritime trade, colonial conquest, and cultural exchange. These shipwrecks are not just relics, they are bridges to our past, offering clues about ancient navigation, lost civilizations, and the evolution of global commerce. Yet, despite their immense historical value, India's underwater heritage remains largely unprotected. Current policies are fragmented, with overlapping jurisdictions and limited funding for marine archaeology. Without comprehensive legislation and dedicated conservation efforts, these treasures risk being lost forever, to looters, to corrosion, and to the relentless march of time. Every wreck is a lesson about courage and tragedy, about the risks sailors took to connect continents, and about the urgent need to protect what lies beneath. These submerged sites are also vibrant ecosystems, where coral and marine life reclaim sunken hulls, turning them into underwater sanctuaries that support biodiversity. The future of India's shipwrecks depends on a new vision, one that balances historical preservation with marine conservation and encourages responsible exploration. Imagine diving into history, discovering forgotten stories, and helping to protect these underwater time capsules for generations to come. Where would you dive if you could explore any wreck, ancient or modern? Comment your dream dive site below, and together let's keep the spirit of adventure and preservation alive.